Plus, can discovering your past change who you are? Lisa Kudrow and Blair Underwood share their personal journeys. And I come face to face with a long-lost relative I didn't even know I had. Will the real cousin please stand up? Well, hey, cuz. Today on Ancestry. Hey, welcome back. Today's show is really all about family. My dad was born in Mississippi and wrote a book about the importance of families, about his family growing up in the South. And really all my life, family's been something that I've thought a lot about. So a lot of people today don't even know anything about their grandparents, don't even know really where they come from. And I think it's a really important thing. I think it gives you a grounding in the present if you know about your past. It's part of the reason why I love Lisa Kudrow's show, where she traces people's family history. She's going to be with us in a moment. I've also been told that I have a relative of mine somewhere here in the audience who I didn't even know existed. We'll reveal her soon as well. I'm kind of curious about that. But first, I want to talk to Lisa Kudrow. She's so funny, so talented. She's obviously best known as Phoebe on Friends. I became obsessed with the show The Comeback. I love her show, Who Do You Think You Are? Please welcome Lisa Kudrow. Oh my God!
Thank you.
And also web therapy, incredible. Yeah, no,
Thank
I'm such a huge fan. But I love what you're doing, tracing people's roots, because I just think so many people today really don't know where they came from.
Right. And people don't know where they came from, and I think for most of us who, whatever we did learn in history class, they were such broad strokes that these details from our ancestors' experience in history really makes it more impactful, I think.
And you, on the first show, you actually traced your own family history back.
Yeah.
And I want to show some of that to our viewers.
Yeah.
So the Jews were marched along this street. Jews were driven to this place, shot here and buried. They were made to approach the edge of that pit, and they were shot and fell down into the cellar, and then the next 2 or 3, and then the next and the next.
How do you prepare for the last moment of your life, knowing what's coming? You watch the people before you and know that's your fate while you're naked and humiliated and waiting for your turn to get shot. Okay.
That was your maternal grandmother?
My maternal, no, my paternal great-grandmother.
Paternal great-grandmother.
Right, my father's mother's mother.
What's that like to suddenly discover there is a spot on the earth that bears her name and is the place where she died?
Well, it's a lot of mixed feelings. When you're trying to look on the bright side, then I felt lucky that there's a place I can go to pay my respects, where I think, throughout all of Belarus, wherever there was a village and there were Jews in it, they were rounded up and shot. And there's not always a marker for where that happened. So not everyone gets to even pay their respects, or it's like it never happened,
I think one of the things you said really strikes home with me, which is the notion of people dying and not having their history or their story told. And I mean, I see that as a reporter, and it's one of the things that motivates me as a reporter to go to places, is because there's nothing sad. I mean, it's horrible when people are died or murdered, but when they die on the side of a road and disappear into dust and no one knows of their passing, other than the few loved ones they had who will soon die also, to me, that is just the worst tragedy of all.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it so sad. And also, and then later in the car, I was so angry and I was spewing all of that, but because it also makes you realize this isn't unique. It's unique to Jews, but it's not unique to the way human beings treat each other, and it's still going on. It's still going on, and it's depressing.
Yeah. I mean, there was genocide in Darfur and Rwanda in the mid-90s. One of the folks who's on your show, Blair Underwood, retraced his journey, and It's just extraordinary, some of the things that he discovered. He's going to be here in just a moment. Let's take a quick break. We'll have more with Lisa and Blair Underwood. Go ahead. Next, see how far Blair Underwood had to travel to find his family's past.
It doesn't change who you are, but it changes how you perceive yourself, how you think of yourself.
And where Lisa Kudrow says she draws the line. Is that something you would ever do, Lisa?
Never. I don't even know how to say it loud enough or clear enough.
Yeah.
Never.
Hello?
Hello, is this Boleslav?
No, it's Tomek. How can I help you? Because you are looking for the Bolescu Barudin. It's my grandfather.
Is he here?
Yes, he's in the house.
He is? Oh my gosh. My father met your grandfather a long, long, long time ago.
Oh my God.
And I think we're related.
So please, you are very welcome. Let's visit us.
All right, bye. What? Oh my gosh, he's alive. That's, I can't believe it.
We're back from Lisa Kudrow. That was a clip from Who Do You Think You Are, which retraces people's roots, basically. It's interesting to me when I started going to my dad's, when the Cooper family reunions after college, which I hadn't really gone to as a kid, to suddenly see people who you were related to who have the same mannerisms or the same like weird shaped head. Like there's the Cooper head, like, oh, it's got a weird bump in the back and a weird nose.
Right.
And it's really interesting when you start to meet these people and see these things which aren't really, you think they're you, but they're really part of your past.
Right, yeah.
Blair Underwood also you helped him retrace his family, and it's amazing what happened. We all know Blair Underwood from LA Law, Sex and the City, In Treatment. Blair decided to retrace his own roots as part of Lisa's show. Take a look.
You're associated with several tribes that are predominantly found in the western part of Africa. What we found was a gentleman who's your cousin.
What? So my cousin is Eric Sonjowo.
Right.
From Babungo.
Babungo, Cameroon.
Babungo, Cameroon.
You Eric? Eric, yeah. Where's your father? Which one is your father? My father.
Because of you, we come full circle and we reunite as a family with you. So that is an honor. That's very humbling to us.
Who I thought I was when we started this odyssey is different than who I know I am today. It's been incredible.
And please welcome Blair Underwood. How are you? Welcome. How are you?
Should we switch?
I don't know. Doesn't matter, sure. Go on.
Switch.
So sit next to Lisa, so I can do on the left and the right.
Yeah. How amazing was that to discover you had a living relative in Africa, in Cameroon?
Oh my God! I have to tell you, the entire journey was incredible, and to go to Africa, and I've always wanted to take my father. That was my dad with me, and he was the one when I was a kid that said, "I want to go to Africa one day and do a safari." And I've been blessed to go a number of times. He had never been, so when we had the opportunity because of this show to take him, I found myself watching everything through his eyes more than my own experience.
Does it change the way you see yourself somehow?
It does. You know what? It's a great question. More people ask that. Okay, so you know who your great-great-grandfather, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't change who you are, but it changes how you perceive yourself, how you think of yourself, which can affect how you present yourself.
Right. It also, I think, and you mentioned American history, it also kind of roots you in the history of this country and the history of other countries as well in a kind of a unique way.
Man, and let me tell you something. We learned some things that I never knew, and I felt like, as an African-American man, I'm from Virginia, especially the history of Virginia and the state rights in Virginia. I learned so many things about my family I had no idea even existed.
What else did you learn?
So specifically, that on my mother's side, there's a whole corridor, a whole lineage of free people of color, free blacks, in the South in the late 1790s. So this is before slavery.
Wow.
And you have to understand, too, in this genealogy.
That's extraordinary.
It's extraordinary. And they were free then. I asked the question, I was telling Lisa, I felt like I should know some of this stuff. I'm like, how are they free in 1790s, early 1800s? And it's because of certain state laws there in Virginia. But it's just important because this stuff we're not taught so much. And the fact that every African American was not a slave and every white person was not a slave owner. I mean, it's important that people understand there's gray areas in every history.
Yeah, the lines are much more blurred and interwoven in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. So not just free people. I found out my 3 times great-grandfather owned 200 acres in Virginia in the early 1800s. So it changes kind of how you think of your history.
I understand you did something in South Africa, which I also did, which is diving with great white sharks.
Yeah.
Which is amongst the coolest encounters you can have with an animal in the wild. For me, it's mountain gorillas in Rwanda and diving with great white sharks off the coast of South Africa. How was that for you?
That was great. No, I actually saw, I have to say, I saw you with Kelly Ripa mentioning this a couple years ago, and I'm thinking I'd gone to South Africa, but I'd never done that. Didn't know you could do it. So I said, next time I go to Cape Town, I'm doing the great white sharks.
So this is you in the boat. They basically put you in a cage.
Put you in a cage on the side of the boat. And really, yeah, you don't have to do the scuba diving stuff. You kind of just go below the water in this big gray bus. It is a shark.
Right.
Goes by. It was incredible. My 15-year-old son went with me.
Oh, that's cool. Is that something you would ever do, Lisa?
But never. I don't even know how to say it loud enough or clear enough.
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
She's like my wife. There's nothing appealing about that.
Unnecessary risk.
We got to take a quick break. Coming up, someone in the audience is actually related to me. I have no idea who it is. We'll find out next. So we're back with Lisa Kudrow, Blair Underwood, and it turned out the folks at Ancestry.com say there's a relative of mine here today who I've never met. All I know is she is my 5th cousin, once removed on my father's side. She's one of the 3 audience members that we now have sitting up here, each wearing a T-shirt that says, "I'm Anderson's cousin." I have no idea which one. I'm going to play a quick Guess My Cousin game. So if you guys have any thoughts on who the cousin is, let me know.
All
right.
Yeah,
so
all right.
how long have your ancestors been in the U.S.?
Since about 1884, so I'm about the 4th generation here.
Okay. How long do you think your ancestors been?
Early 1600s.
Okay.
About 3 generations.
3 generations. Okay. Do any of your ancestors come from the South?
Yes. Funny you should ask. North Carolina,
Okay.
just a few hours north of the Biltmore State.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Wow. So 2 are cagey and 1 is very open.
Which makes me think the open one is lying.
Does North Carolina, does that mean anything?
Well,
to you?
my mom's side of the family has family in North Carolina who I don't know how they're related, but this is my dad's side. They're all from Mississippi.
Right.
Does your bloodline have any dominant physical trait? Or like, does anyone in your family, they go prematurely gray?
No gray, but we're all known for our big blue eyes.
Oh.
Interesting. Because you have blue eyes, too.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Any,
I haven't seen much of the gray, no.
you guys have any questions for them? Anything? What do you think?
I'd say...
Who would you guess is my...
Well, I'm trying to remember what 5th cousin means. I mean, that's...
It's a far away. It's like
far
my
away.
great-great-great-great-grandfather's...
I know. And so I'm thinking it has to be you in the middle.
No.
Well, 3 generations... Oh, that's all you know about is 3 generations back. It doesn't mean that there isn't.
I think it's you on the far right.
See, I think so too, because she's not saying much.
All right. So will the real cousin please stand up? Wow, really? All right, we were all wrong.
No, I said.
You said? Oh, okay.
I'm not wrong. When am I wrong?
Lisa got it.
So what's your name?
Melissa.
Melissa Anderson?
No, it's Reese.
Reese, okay. So how are we related?
Well, through Solomon Anderson.
Solomon Anderson, who is my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Right.
We have someone named Anastasia who's the lead family historian with Ancestry.com. She's in the audience. So Anastasia, all right, explain this connection.
Okay, so you're related through Solomon Anderson, and he lived in Mississippi in the early 1800s. He's your 4th great-grandfather, and he's Melissa's 5th great-grandfather. So you're both related to him.
And what do we know about him?
Well, we know that he was born in the 1790s. He's from Mississippi. He died in Texas, and he apparently was full-blooded Choctaw Native American.
Oh, really?
So
That's
you
cool.
have Native American in your ancestry, which is a very unique find. We've been looking for that on Who Do You Think You Are for a long time.
We've got a picture of my grandmother, Jenny Anderson, who I'm named after, on her wedding day. She got married when she was 13. And apparently my grandfather saw her when she was like 11 and then went to work on the Panama Canal and was like, I'm going to come back and marry you in 2 years, and did. And then we also have a picture of her grandfather, Benjamin Anderson. So I get close, but not close to Solomon. That's really cool. I'd never heard of Solomon Anderson before.
Yeah.
So where do you live?
Alaska.
Alaska. Did you know that we were related?
No.
No. I understand that when you started doing research, your husband was concerned some relative would come and start asking for money. Is that true?
He says that we don't need any more family.
Is that right? All right. Because I'd like to talk to you about some money troubles I've been having. And I want to thank everybody for playing Guess My Cousin. All three of you are going to go home with Ancestry.com's new home DNA test. It's not even in stores yet. It's really great. You can take a DNA swab, and through that, find out more about your ancestry. And the more people who do it, the more you can actually learn over the years. I also want to thank Lisa Kudrow and Blair Underwood for being on the show. I'm so excited about your program and all your success. Thank you. Also, thanks to Ancestry.com. And everybody in the audience is going to go home with a year-long membership for Ancestry.com, so you can all work on tracing your roots. Coming up, it is our biggest contest ever. We're going to announce the lucky winner of a brand new car. You're going to be amazed at this surprise. It's great. We'll be right back. If you want to be a guest on the show or have a story to share, go to AndersonCooper.com or call us at 1-855-885-5550.